What is up, YouTube? It's Frank with What's the Point EDC. I told you we were going to be doing the Callari Huck hard use testing. Well, here it is. You guys wanted it. Here it is. This thing is crew wear at 65 HRC and only 10 thou behind the edge. It's so efficient. I've never had a knife this efficient on the channel, period. Not only is it super efficient, but that full flat grind just makes it a slicing beast on top of it. Very good ergonomics. Everything is rounded and contoured for the human hand for maximum comfortability. The finish on this knife has been holding up good. The spine, if you want to throw sparks with it, you can because it's 90 degrees. Before I started this test, I've already done an edge retention testing with 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope on a 1 inch portion of the blade. So this isn't a fresh edge. Timbo already used the knife before he sent it in to me. So that's really saying something. That's a testament to how good this knife really is. And shout out to Timbo 437 for sending this thing in. Look at the amusement on my face. I really like this knife. I'm telling you guys, this is one of my favorite EDC fixies ever. It's that damn good. With this nice tall flat grind and only 10 thou behind the edge, it really does eat through material. It just slices through like it's freaking warm butter. I haven't had a knife perform like this ever, so it's a very refreshing treat, to be honest with you guys, to have a knife that cuts this easily, because it really does. Now what you're going to see is me blaze through little knots. You're going to see me dig down deep with some of these cuts just to see how it does. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on the actual handle and blade itself to see how it feels. Like right here, I'm choking up on it and my thumb is on the spine, feeling if it's going to be painful on the spine, feeling how it feels when I dig in real deep. It hasn't given me any issues, and as you can see right here, the damn thing is so sharp. It just eats through the wood like it's nothing. It's very different. Like I've said, I've never had a knife like this on the channel before, and I'm very impressed with its performance. You can do anything with this knife, any wood task, though I wouldn't go batoning with it. I'm not going to do any tip testing because that's not what this knife is designed for. Look at it. Bam! Right through that freaking knot. Watch. Oh, it went straight on through. Woo! Look at this thing. You know it's going to be a good knife just by looking at it. But once you actually use it, that's when you know this damn thing is going to be an awesome knife. Look at the handle on it. You know it's going to fit any hand. It's going to be comfortable while doing it. Holding it in any grip is good to go. Look at that grip. Pinch up, choke grip. Oh yeah, the Skinner's grip. I love this freaking knife, y'all. I can't get enough of it. I know this isn't a chopper, and that's not what I'm testing. What I'm doing here is I'm hitting the knife on the wood to create as much impacts as I can repeatedly in the same general area to see if the edge wants to roll, if it wants to chip or anything, though it didn't happen at all throughout this entire testing, but I wanted to see how it would take it. It is crew wear, and crew wear is a very tough steel, and it can handle thin geometry as well as thin geometry with low angle edges on it. That's one more reason why I really love crew wear steel. Good edge retention, excellent toughness. It's not the best for stain resistance and for corrosion resistance, but I have never had an issue. It just does really good with everything. If you're anything like me, you love to cut cardboard, and this knife is so slicey it made it even more fun. Watch it when I get it through this cardboard. It's really gonna eat. Look at this. Oh yeah, and if I wasn't cutting on this uneven stump that's really used, it's got dips and divots in it, this thing would have performed even better. I am telling you guys now, no knife I've ever used on the channel comes close to this. This thing slices so good. Look at how the tip cants downward, so it just wants to eat into materials. These draw cuts are excellent. You can do swirly draw cuts, straight draw cuts, anything you want. This thing is a utility cutting beast. want to see how this thing does with some of these kind of more bushcrafty style of tasks. Go ahead here and just see how it feels doing this right here a little bit. Kind of just digging into the wood, you know, getting it dug up a little bit. Come right here and do it again. I'm just getting a feel for how it feels as it digs into the wood and how it feels on my hand and on my wrist. That is going in rather freaking deep. It's definitely a solid one. Let's do another one. Kind of just digs right on down in there with no problem at all, because it's only 10th thou behind the edge. And I know I keep repeating that. That's a serious thing. It's just so efficient. You don't understand how efficient this knife is and how thin it is until you hold it in your hand and until you use it. This is thinner than most of the pocket knives that I've ever had. I mean, and I absolutely mean that. This thing is a EDC slicing, food prepping beast. I mean, this would be a good knife if you want to skin something, in my opinion. I'm not like a professional skinner. Go ahead and cut this 1/2 inch air hose. Very easy, nothing to it at all. Look at this thing, just breezes, y'all. Now, I've already done testing on this knife and edge retention testing, and Timbo has used this knife before as well. So that's on a very used edge. That's freaking impressive. It's so thin that nothing slows it down. Push down, just push cutting it. Simple push cuts. It's so thin. See if we can't push cut down through this. For sure. Like how you have these choke up points right here on both sides of the handle. Really good for that pinch grip. Comes in very useful. Look at that thing. It is just so efficient. Here's that ridiculous rope I keep telling you guys about. Let's see how it likes it. Get it going. Still has a lot of bite left. This thing gets it in. Let's do some cuts here. Just annihilates it. Just literally I can push. It's a simple push cut. That's wild. Look at that thing. Get it. It doesn't play no games. Super efficient, super sharp. I've talked about how thin the actual blade gets down to behind the edge, but I haven't talked about how contoured and good that the handle feels. Now the handle, it's low profile enough that it carries in your pocket in that sheath super easy, but it's good enough in hand that you feel like you have something positive to hold on to. It's not like you're holding on to a pencil. It actually has shape and it feels good in the hand, and it's literally designed for the human hand. 1 inch rope of death. Let's go ahead and put this thing through it. We're gonna cut through the tape as well and see how it does. Whoa. Do this again. The rope's really big and it has a 3-inch blade, so it's like it's not that the knife isn't sharp enough, it's just that the amount of length of blade versus how wide the diameter of the actual rope is just makes it a little bit harder for these shorter length blades to cut in one cut. Doesn't mean it's any less sharp or anything. Now mind you, this has already done 360 cuts of 1/2 inch twisted sisal rope in a 1 inch section earlier on. I will link that video in the description. The thumbnail will be right here in the left hand corner, right hand corner, whatever corner you want to call it, whatever corner I decide to put it in. This thing does not play around. Super efficient. I need to get a different cutting block here. I just want to take a second to talk about the sheath itself. The leather work is very good, and the stitching on it is done well, and it actually stands out because it's a different color than the black of the leather sheath. It has a really good clip on it, and it slides down in the pocket like a champ. I really do like the logo that Steve put on the actual sheath itself. Very good stuff. This is a sweet package right here all together. Through all the different materials that I've cut, the blade is never hung up. It's never felt like it didn't want to cut through. It literally just eats through the material. I've said it so many times, but I gotta say it again. This thing is so efficient. Watch it eat through 3 layers of auxiliary wire right here. It really freaking eats. My goal is to show this knife cutting through as many different materials as I can. Well, at least as many different materials that makes sense for what you would actually use the knife for as I can. I just want to show how it does. Does it snag on things? Does it get stuck on things? Now, one thing I didn't show was all the food prep that I did with this. I've done cut onions, green peppers, meats, and all. Here lately, I've seen a couple different channels using actual fire truck water hoses for cut demonstrations. I think that's very smart. That is such a good idea, and it's thick, so it's a little bit better than cutting just this 2-inch strap. Maybe if I had a little bit bigger of a strap, that would be a little bit better. And I'm trying to find different materials to cut for you guys so you can see a little bit of everything. I've been using these 6, 8, and 10-inch blades for so long now, it seems like I'm getting used to the long blades and the ratchet strap cuts. These shorter blades are a little more complicated. I just want to remind everybody that the testing that you see me do in these videos isn't the only testing that I do. I cut out a good amount of the testing so that I can make these videos as short as possible. And most of the time after I'm done with these videos, I go through and do more testing after the video just to see a couple different things and to get a different feel on the knife. Lately, I've been making tri-sticks with every knife that I hard use just to get a better feel for the knife so that I can actually say I used it for an actual bushcraft task, and the tri-stick teaches you a lot about a knife. Every time I use this knife, it feels like it becomes a part of my hand. It literally is so comfortable and does what it's supposed to do so good. This knife has such a useful tip. These utility cuts are excellent. You know what time it is? Paper cut test time. After 2 full testings, will it still cut paper? Let's find out. I wouldn't be upset if it wouldn't. Oh Lord, here we go. That's me. Okay, it's still cutting. I keep catching. I don't know if that's me or the knife. That could be partially me, partially the knife. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, this thing absolutely put in the work it needed to put in. It did everything I wanted it to do. It's still got a hell of an edge. Shout out to Timbos 437 for making this one even possible. This is an awesome knife. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to bring this to you guys. I'm gonna put a link to his YouTube channel and Instagram in the description. Check him out and hit him up. This thing is awesome. Shout out to Steve Callari for making a freaking fire knife. Here's the sheath for it right here. Excellent freaking stuff, you guys. This thing went through a lot. I've been EDCing it a lot. I gotta say, this right here is a 10 out of 10. It really is. It's a 10 out of 10. Its design purpose is, it does what it's supposed to do so good. Excellence. Steve Callari Huck, Crewwear 65 HRC. So I appreciate everybody who supports the channel. You guys are freaking awesome. Without you guys, there is no WTP. So I appreciate you guys. You guys keep me going. If you enjoy this type of stuff, put it in the comments and let me know you enjoy these hard use videos, and I'll keep bringing them to you. In the rain, in the humidity, it doesn't matter. I'll keep bringing it to you guys. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this one right here. I sure did. This was a fun one, very efficient. I've never had a knife cut like this before, ever. It's so efficient. I can't even explain to you in words how efficient it is. Freaking playing right as I'm trying to get my outro. All right, you guys, I appreciate y'all. If you're an addict, never quit quitting. Stay strong and live long. If you're struggling with bad thoughts, reach out and talk to somebody. It is okay to talk. Never quit quitting and never give up. Take it easy and stay greasy, y'all. Peace. Steve Callari Huck.